don't quit. Don't be discouraged. If you're discouraged, I think that means that you're thinking a whole lot about where you are now in your state of injury or your state of not being your best body wise. Put your energy, put your focus into where you want to be. Put your focus back into being your most fit, your most athletic self, okay? And I promise you, you start to feel better. I'm a witness. I had a dislocated shoulder, and now all these years later, I haven't dislocated again, and I'm back to doing all my reps and stuff. Okay. Hey, what's going on, y'all? So, you know what? One thing I've kind of realized with my YouTube channel here is that a lot of people come to this channel um, and will even subscribe because you've seen that I dislocated my shoulder back in 2018. Those videos I have where I talk about that are probably my most watched videos on this channel thus far. So I wanted to just kind of share a little bit um, about my mindset back then. And the main thing I wanted to say is I never thought about quitting, y'all. I never thought about quitting. And I'm saying this hopefully to be a motivation to those of you who've either dislocated your shoulder before or you have some sort of other sports injury or injury caused by, I don't know, something else. Um, or maybe you're recovering from something like pregnancy or, trying to get back into activity and maybe you are kind of being discouraged by that. Um, if you're discouraged and you're kind of in that state, I really want to challenge you to challenge your own mindset. You need to challenge your mindset. Um, so I never thought about quitting. So prior to my injury in April of 2018, I was doing very extensive calisthenics. So I'm talking about, mainly like the staples, your push-ups, pull-ups, chin-ups, dips, variations of those. I mean, I'm talking about hundreds of reps. I was doing lots and lots of reps. I can't really remember. I did used to keep a journal. I still keep a journal, but I was doing hundreds of reps, and I was continuing that prior to this competition, obstacle course competition that I was going to participate in on that day, on that that fateful day in April of 2018, and so I had lived a life of doing a lot of exercise. And of course, up to that point, I had done calisthenics exclusively for probably about almost 10 years. So I really liked that lifestyle. And so when I injured myself, of course, the immediate emotion was like, oh crap, like I messed up. I messed something up. And so it was pretty devastating for sure because I knew I couldn't really move my shoulder. I couldn't really bring my shoulder down the right way, and it almost makes you cringe now thinking about it. Um but you kind of feel like, man, because I never injured myself significantly before like that. So I kind of felt, like, man, kind of vulnerable, almost kind of like a what do you do now kind of feeling. But I never thought about quitting. I never thought that was going to be like the end of my athleticism or whatever. And matter of fact, I refuse to accept anything like that. And there's a couple of things that were behind that. one, like I really didn't want to go under the knife for anything. So I was like, you know what? And that's really a secondary thing. So I elaborate on that um later. But I didn't want to go under the knife. And I I've always liked being athletic, always liked being in shape, and like being able to do my push-ups and pull-ups and stuff. Before I started doing pull-ups and everything, I had worked very hard to get the strength that I had acquired, because when I was in high school, my upper body was very weak, very weak. I really couldn't do like a good pull-up, but I worked on it for like years, and I finally was able to get to where I was able to do like, you know, 20 plus pull-ups in one pop. And so I was like, I'm not about to just stop that here. I'm getting back to that. So it was solidly in my mind. I fit the moment, pretty much the moment I injured myself, my mind was focused on recovery. It was like, okay, I'm gonna get my shoulder back as strong as I possibly can without surgery and whatnot. I'm gonna be careful. I'm gonna do the physical therapy. I'm gonna do all my homework. If they tell me to do stuff at home, I'm gonna do that stuff at home, because I want to make this shoulder the best that it can possibly be, so I can return to the life that I want to return to. So I'm saying that to you to challenge your mindset. Like I said, perhaps you've injured yourself and you haven't returned back to stuff, or maybe you are post pregnancy and you're kind of wondering about, um, getting your fitness back, because you have a lack of stability in your ab region, or maybe wanting to get your body back. Um, but you're kind of having to struggle with kind of thinking about where you are now. But what I want to encourage you to do is, like, don't quit. Don't quit. And matter of fact, like I say, if you're thinking about quitting or you're really discouraged or whatever, then you're probably thinking about where you are. What I want to challenge you to do is think about where you want to be. Think about getting back into your best shape and put all your energy there. Because I think, again, the reason why we get really discouraged is because we think about where we are now, but we don't think so much about where we are wanting to be. And so therefore our energy goes into kind of thinking about, woe is me, I'm so discouraged, rather than, okay, I'm getting myself back. I'm getting stronger. I'm getting more fit. I'm getting, healthy again. So the whole thing about the whole surgery bit, like I really didn't, want to go under any surgery if I didn't have to. And so that really gave me a drive to be very dedicated to physical therapy. I'm very much a believer in doing different kind of things with your body to facilitate healing. So I was believing very much that if I just dedicated and not try to rush the process and try to hurry up and get back to my pull-ups and all that kind of stuff, then I would be fine. Now I think a lot of times what happens is people are so wanting to get back into what they were into that they rush the process. And so then you end up injuring yourself again. But I'm always a bit, even recently I pulled a hip flexor and I was like, well, there you go. So I need to chill out for a bit. So I didn't stop moving. I just did things that were lesser so I could get blood flow in there, because healing is in your blood. And so I wasn't going to rush the process. I wasn't going to try to rush back into what I was doing. I was going to recover, and I was going to recover fully. So I just say all that to say, don't quit. Don't quit. Don't be discouraged. If you're discouraged, I think that means that you're thinking a whole lot about where you are now in your state of injury, or your state of, not being your best body wise. Okay. Put your energy, put your focus into where you want to be. Put your focus back into being your most fit, your most athletic self. Okay. And I promise you, you start to feel better. I'm a witness. I had a dislocated shoulder, and now all these years later, I haven't dislocated again, and I'm back to doing all my reps and stuff. Okay, so hopefully this is encouraging to somebody out there. If so, let me know. Oh, and also, sometimes I wonder, like, because so many people are asking me about my experience with my shoulder dislocation and seeking encouragement. If you guys ever want me to do anything more extensive, like a course or something like that, just let me know. But anyhow, there will be more on that because it's so encouraging to people I found. All right, y'all take care. If you like this content, you might also be interested in one of my books. Learn how you can take steps literally today to successfully manage, control, and overcome common issues such as high blood pressure, diabetes, and belly fat. It's all about putting power back in your hands to improve your own health. Get your book copy today by the links in the description or by visiting seanmcclennan.com/books. Also, don't forget, hit the like button and subscribe and join my email list at seanmcclennan.com/subscribe.